Jermaine Taylor enters the ring tonight looking for redemption. The former undisputed middleweight champion has been to the mountaintop and fallen off. Now, at age 30, he's looking to return to glory.
And you know, he made it very clear when we talked to him and in the last few days at the press conference that what bothered him the most when he flash fought against Jeff Lacey was everything seemed small. There didn't seem to be the electricity that I had when I was on top. I want that back so badly. Tonight he has it in spades. And you can feel it in this arena. And of course, the fans here from his home state of Arkansas, they love him down there.
Jermaine Bad Intentions Taylor with another opportunity at a world championship. In a sport where many play it safe, Carl Froch has put everything on the line tonight. He's defending his title for the first time against a former undisputed world champion, and he's 3,300 miles from his native England.
And that is very different than the amount of distance normally in which he fights. In Nottingham, England, his last 10 fights have been at that same arena, which is 10 minutes from his house. He said, you know, I took that same 10-minute drive, was in that same dressing room with the same blue chairs. He said, I was in a rut, even though I was winning and I ultimately won a championship. He said, I wanted a challenge, I wanted a change. He came to America, and he's got one tonight. But what he did bring with him were a lot of British fans who are cheering him on.
A calculated risk for Carl Froch. He feels that Jermaine Taylor, at this point in his career, is ripe. He's lost. His confidence isn't as high as it was before, and he feels that at this point in his career, he is at the top of his game. Carl Froch, Jermaine Taylor, WBC Super Middleweight Championship of the World. And let's check the numbers as we go to the tail of the tape.
Probably the most salient thing here is that Jermaine Taylor, for only the third time in his career, is fighting over 160 pounds. We'll see if he brings knockout power with him, etc. And we can take a look at the height and reach advantage. Not much to speak of on that.
So here at the MGM Grand Theater at Foxwoods, we're ready for our main event, Carl Froch versus Jermaine Taylor. Let's get the official introductions from our ring announcer, the classy Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the brand new MGM Grand at Foxwoods here in Mashantucket, Connecticut, we welcome you to the featured bout of the evening, brought to you by DeBella Entertainment, Hennessy Sports, and Showtime. Sponsored by the Palm Restaurant, the classic American Steakhouse. This bout is sanctioned by the WBC President Jose Suleiman, Supervisor Roy Van Putten, along with the Mashantucket Pequot Tribal Nation Athletic Division. The chairman is George Henningsen, Vice Chairman Kenny Reels. The director is Peter Timothy. Our physicians at ringside, Dr. Anthony Alessi, Dr. Michael Rajkumar, and Dr. Mark Gutman. And our timekeeper at the bell is Phyllis Roy. Introducing our three judges scoring this bout from ringside. From Mexico, Omar Mintun. From Japan, Nobuaki Uratani. And from Canada, Jack Woodburn. Our third man of the ring, our referee in charge of this bout, is Michael Ortega. All right, fans, here we go with the main event of the evening. 12 rounds of boxing for the WBC Super Middleweight Championship of the World. And now, ladies and gentlemen in attendance and boxing fans joining us around the world, live from the MGM Grand at Foxwoods, it's first, the challenger on my right, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing black trunks with silver trim, trimmed in the U.S. flag. Hailing from Little Rock, Arkansas, he weighed in at a trim and ready 166 pounds. His record, 28 wins, 2 losses and 1 draw, with 17 wins coming by way of knockout. Here is the 2000 Olympic bronze medalist, the current WBC #1 ranked contender, and the former undisputed middleweight champion of the world, known as Bad Intentions, introducing Jermaine Taylor. And his opponent across the ring on my left, the defending world champion, fighting out of the red corner, wearing black trunks trimmed in the Union Jack. He proudly represents his home of Nottingham, England. He weighed in at 167 pounds. He is undefeated in his campaign of the ring with a record of 24 wins, no losses, 19 wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the former British and Commonwealth champion, tonight making the first defense of his world crown, introducing the undefeated WBC super middleweight champion of the world, introducing Carl the Cobra Froch. Once again, 12 rounds of championship boxing scheduled. Our referee in charge now to give instructions is Michael Ortega.
Okay, Jermaine. Gentlemen, we went over the rules. Want a good, clean fight? Protect yourself at all times. Obey my commands at all times. Good luck to both of you. Touch them up.
And before the first bell, let's give you the results of our poll question. We asked you to predict how Carl Froch, undefeated and never knocked down, would fare in tonight's fight against Jermaine Taylor, and here's how you voted.
Well, the fascinating thing is, obviously, this is a pro-Taylor crowd texting, and the most amazing thing is they think Froch is going down and losing.
Carl Froch taking the biggest gamble of his career. If he wins, he becomes part of boxing's elite. If he loses, he goes back home with nothing. Jermaine Taylor, a must-win fight. If he wins, he's right back in the spotlight. But if he loses, his luster will be tarnished, and he has to go to the back of the line. Round 1, scheduled for 12.
Carl Froch winked at Jermaine Taylor when he walked out. He is a confident man, Carl Froch. And early on, the battle of the jab will be very interesting for these two fighters.
Taylor missing with the wild left hook. Froch feels that he's a natural super middleweight. Nice right hand by Taylor. Straight on the chin of Froch.
This fight is going to be decided by whether Froch can take those right hands early in this fight. We knew he was going to get hit with right hands, but it happened only a few seconds into the fight. He has a granite chin, does Carl Froch, but does he have a granite chin against Jermaine Taylor? We're going to find out.
Froch taking his time so far at age 31. He's a 7-year pro, and he's coming off a win over Jean Pascal December of 2008. But to go back to my point, he feels that he's a natural super middleweight. Walks around at 172. He feels he's the bigger, stronger man that can take a better punch as Jermaine Taylor comes up in weight.
He's already taken some big right hands from Taylor. Froch has stopped throwing his jab. Neither man's really using it right now. They started out using it very effectively. There's already some redness on the nose of Froch.
Flozell Adams, Taylor's trainer, wants him to start boxing again, just like he did when he was an amateur and won a bronze medal at the Sydney Olympics. Establish your jab, work angles, make sure that you allow your right hand time to be set up, as opposed to going for knockouts right away.
Now Taylor's starting to use the jab himself. It's been a very precise round so far for Jermaine Taylor. Froch has had a hard time landing.
Froch goes to the body. And a lot of redness on the bridge of the nose of Froch. He continues to eat jab after jab.
Now understand, this is a fight in two parts. Almost everybody expected Taylor to start out well and do well early. But, big right by Froch. But can Jermaine Taylor sustain this in the second half of the fight? We'll get to that later.
Jermaine Taylor has had stamina problems in his career. After 5 rounds, 6 rounds, he has waned. He did it against Bernard Hopkins, Kelly Pavlik, even did it most recently against Jeff Lacey, doing a lot of holding from round 6 on, especially when the fight went inside. Froch patient.